Welcome to this month's Tech Topic on digital content curation. I'm your host, Nicole McGee. During this presentation, we'll take a look at why this is a trend, what tools are being used to do it, and what is coming next. So let's start the conversation by talking about the sheer amount of information that's available online. This infographic from Mashable.com shows us that the world's information is doubling every 2 years, and 1.8 zettabytes are going to be created alone in 2011. That's the equivalent of 200 billion HD movies. Another infographic from Fluency21.com talks about the amount of information that's going to be on the internet in 2015. So the first part of this infographic talks about the units of measure and just how much information we're talking about in comparison to what we're used to today, which is pretty much just megabytes, gigabytes, and maybe terabytes. That's a lot of information. In fact, according to this infographic, it would take over 5 years to watch the amount of video that's going to stream through the internet every second in 2015. Another piece to this discussion is something called the filter bubble. Eli Pariser has a book and a video on TED.com that talks about the algorithms that work behind sites like Google and Facebook. While some may like the personalization that you can get on these sites, others think there are some dangers because it's not displaying all sides of a topic. It may be choosing just the ones that it thinks you want to see based on links that you've clicked on in the past. So what is content curation? Clay Shirky talks about it in the context of synchronizing a community. So it's not just a human-powered filter, it's providing context and making sure that an entire group of people have the same understanding and the same resources available. An example here in our community would be the work that we did with the city for the deliberations about redevelopment and then later on transportation. So what types of activities are included in content curation? There's aggregation, there's distillation, which would be adding value or analysis. Elevation, which is what I do on Twitter when I retweet things, would be promoting information to others. Mashup would bring together sort of disconnected information to make new knowledge, and a chronology would be just that. A great piece in the New York Times recently talks about digital curation as something that's proactive, where you're continually maintaining information in current format so that you don't need to preserve it after the fact. In terms of the different types of internet users out there on the internet, we're really talking about people who are collecting information and talking about it. So those would be the collectors and the conversationalists, even maybe the critics in between. This interesting infographic divides curation into 3 distinct steps, where you use tools to discover information, you enrich it, and then you publish and distribute it using other tools. There is some overlap, I think. For example, I use Twitter not only to discover information, but I also publish and distribute it by retweeting with my own comments and ideas. And the ecosystem is just growing every day. I'd say about 3/4 of the tools that I'm listing here have come out within the last 6 months. Now, one tool that I've been playing with on my iPhone is called Pulse. It's sort of a combination of an RSS feed reader, a social bookmarking tool, and sort of a read it later feature that saves things that I want to get back to at another time. Another trend I'm seeing is live curation. For example, this app called Color is a photo sharing app in real time. So people at an event, for example, can all contribute to sort of a collective photo album to document the experience of that event. One cool tool that I've been playing with lately is still in beta. It's called Scoop It. And basically you add a bookmarklet into your browser, so as you browse the web and you discover resources on a particular topic, you can add it to your channel. Even traditional news sources have recently recognized the need to curate social media and digital information. For example, the Washington Post created a Twitter list of journalists in Oslo when the massacre occurred there, thereby bringing to the forefront the most credible information to their readers. In addition, the Washington Post and even our local station, Wavy TV10, used a tool called Storify to bring together tweets and other social media content when the earthquake happened here in Virginia in August. But remember, we're talking about content and curation at the individual level. These are basically citizen journalists now. So another example here is somebody using Storify to bring together images when Hurricane Irene hit. So let's talk about where libraries fit into this curation ecosystem. A Knight Foundation report from 2010 does just that, outlining the importance of providing relevant and credible information to communities, helping individuals engage with information, and promoting civic engagement as a whole. So what if, as an example, we go beyond our traditional role of collecting and selecting and promoting traditional types of information and move into the social media realm where we use something like Storify to curate information from social media, such as Twitter and Facebook and YouTube? Another link to libraries that I've seen recently came out through this report about jobs and education requirements through 2018. One striking recognition in this report is that we are now a knowledge economy, and we risk leaving hundreds and thousands of workers behind if they don't have the skills that they need to succeed. At the local level, our strategic plan recognizes the importance of these skills through its Public Service Response number 6 on information fluency. Information fluency at this level includes not only finding, searching, evaluating information, as we had called information literacy, it goes beyond that to talk about different media formats, creating content, and also curating it. So where is this going? Tim Berners-Lee, the father of the internet as we know it, describes HTML and the web as one huge book, and how we're going to need new tools and new languages to make it as one big database for better search and discovery. So at the risk of oversimplifying things, we're basically talking about cataloging information on the internet to a better degree so that it's easier to find information that's relevant and useful. So here are my resources, and I thank you for attending today's presentation on digital content curation.